I'm Karen Grace Clark, Program Director with Gold Lactation Online Conference. I'm here today having a little chat with Caroline Kruger. She has put together a presentation for our upcoming conference, and it's called The Concept of Antifragility Applied to Breastfeeding. Now, Caroline, I understand that you have both a background in law and in breastfeeding expertise. Now, that's an interesting professional combination. Tell me about how that happened.
Thank you. Well, I started out as a notarial lawyer, so civil law notary was my job title. I did this for about 10 years. Then I got married and I stopped working for a bit while I was pregnant. And actually with both my babies, I had breastfeeding difficulties. So luckily I had expert help and I read a lot on breastfeeding. And I became interested more and more and had some education on breastfeeding. And by the time I became a lactation consultant, I had what the author on Antifragility, Taleb, calls skin in the game with breastfeeding because of my, experiences.
Well, there you go.
Actually, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Continue.
Would you like to ask me another question?
Yes, absolutely. I thought you were still answering that one. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It is definitely interesting to see how often, that motherhood process and the breastfeeding process brings new passions into our lives and can certainly change the direction of where we were at one time. So I do appreciate hearing how that changed for you. Now, I got to tell you, antifragility. So before working with you on this presentation, Caroline, I'd never actually even heard that word before. What is it? What is antifragility, and what does it have to do with breastfeeding?
Well, antifragility is just the opposite of fragility. So it's easy. Everyone knows what fragility is. If you drop your glass, it breaks because glass is fragile. And breastfeeding, it shouldn't break. It shouldn't. Mothers shouldn't just lose their milk supply when their child turns 6 months, as happened to my mother twice. So something wasn't right with her breastfeeding relationship. It was fragile. So there you have it. That's the connection between antifragility and breastfeeding.
And I have a feeling that you're going to delve into that much more deeply in your presentation, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say here, because again, it is a new concept. I think it's actually a timeless concept, but yet it's a new way of looking at it, and I think a new way of exploring, maybe some of the things that do go wrong and some of the reasons why breastfeeding does appear to break. I really appreciated you saying that, breastfeeding shouldn't break, it shouldn't be fragile, and that's an interesting concept. So like I said, I really appreciate you bringing this to the table and presenting this topic at Gold Lactation this year. But that said, why should a Gold delegate watch this presentation? What will they get out of it, Caroline?
Well, I think it will be very interesting. They will learn a new vocabulary with which to talk about breastfeeding and about evidence, and also perhaps get a different view as to why it is important to keep breastfeeding anti-fragile, to protect its anti-fragility.
What a good point, to protect its anti-fragility. I really appreciate you saying that. And like I said, I know I'm really looking forward to this presentation, and I do think our delegates will get a lot out of it. So I really appreciate you being here with me today, Caroline, and taking a few minutes to chat with me and let me know a little bit more about what to expect from your presentation.
Thank you.
And to everyone listening, I just want to remind you that we do have our free keynote presentation coming up on April 14th. If you have not signed up for that, please do so at goldlactation.com. And of course, if you haven't yet registered for our conference, then we look forward to seeing you online. You can register at goldlactation.com anytime up until about the 15th of May. Keep in mind that our conference starts on April 21st, and we are live at that time. And once again, thank you, Caroline, and thank you, everybody.